Blimey, what a week on EastEnders. Honestly, I can't remember the last time we had this much going on. We've had Max Branning striding back into Walford, Kat and Zoe finally coming face to face again, and even a wedding that ended up being anything but straightforward. Add in a bit of baby drama, a gun being waved about, and those little heart-tugging moments like Kat and Zoe's kitchen table chat, and it's been a proper roller coaster. And the best bit, it wasn't all doom and gloom either. There were laughs, a bit of cheeky chaos, and even some moments that made you go, hang on a minute, did that just happen? What did you lot make of it? Drop your thoughts in the comments. I've got a feeling we're only just getting started. 1. Max turned on the charm. Well, you couldn't make this up. Max Branning only went and pulled Zoe Slater this week. The pair bumped into each other in some random, near-empty London bar. And of course, smooth talker Max wasted no time laying it on thick. His big line, telling Zoe she reminded him of Stacy, which, let's be honest, is a bit cheeky given his history. Still, somehow it worked, and before we knew it, the two of them were heading straight to bed. Classic Max, isn't it? 2. Jack and Ravi wrestled it out in EastEnders this week. Honestly, the back end of this week went completely off the rails. It all kicked off with Jack and Ravi trying to out-macho each other, and in the chaos, poor Zoe Slater ended up taking a bullet. All because those two still can't let the whole Denise mess go. Ravi waving a gun about in front of a copper, Jack not bothering to arrest him or even call for backup. You couldn't write it. While everyone else was busy celebrating Patrick and Yolande's wedding, the pair were rolling around scrapping, and Zoe was the one who paid the price. And I've got to say, Ravi and Jack probably had more chemistry mid-fight than Ravi ever did with Denise. The icing on the cake. Jack shouting, "Hold fire," to calm the punters down in the Vic talk about bad timing. 3. First aid for by dummies. Kat was in full-on panic mode after the shooting, bundling Zoe into Walford East to hide out while they waited for help. But trust Alfie to make things 10 times worse. He only went and hauled Zoe across the square, straight back into the Vic. The poor girl was dumped on the floor bleeding out, while everyone around her started flapping. It was absolute chaos, and you could see Kat's desperation as she tried to stop the bleeding with nothing more than a few filthy old cloths. Proper grim. Then Anthony opened the first aid kit hoping for something useful, only to find it stuffed with Bert and Ernie's sweet wrappers. Classic Slater chaos, but in this moment it felt really serious. Zoe's life hanging in the balance, while no one had a clue what to do. And it does make you think, what on earth was Alfie playing at? Jack might not always be everyone's favorite, but he had a point moving Zoe like that was a disaster waiting to happen. You just know this is going to cause ructions between the Slaters and the rest of the square, especially if Zoe's condition takes a turn. Kat's already on edge, and this kind of thing could easily push her over the limit. Fans will no doubt have plenty to say about whether Alfie's heart was in the right place or if he's just made everything 100 times worse. Either way, it's the kind of drama that sets up some huge fallout in Walford. 4. Beale. Honestly, only in Walford would someone suggest superglue as a way to patch up a gunshot wound, and of course it had to be Ian Beale. The fact Anthony actually looked like he might go along with it just shows how frantic things had got before the paramedics finally turned up. You can't help but laugh at the madness of it, but at the same time it shows how unprepared everyone was when the pressure was really on. Poor Zoe lying there, and the best plan they could come up with was something Ian picked up off the telly. You couldn't make it up. And it's moments like this that explain why Zoe didn't exactly rush back to Walford when she had the chance. With neighbors like Ian and an ex-fiancé like Anthony, can you really blame her for being wary? She's been caught up in chaos from the second she landed, and now she's the one paying the price. It does feel like history's repeating itself here too. The Slaters always seem to attract this kind of drama, and you get the sense Zoe might be wondering if she's made a huge mistake coming home. Fans are definitely going to have plenty to say about whether she sticks around after all this or runs a mile again. 5. The Beales raised the alarm in EastEnders this week trust Jean to be the one quietly spreading the word. She slipped it to Anthony about the gunshot going round on the neighborhood chat, which was dramatic enough. But of course, Ian Beale had to take things to a whole new level, blurting it out in the Vic that there was nutter on the loose. Subtlety's never really been Ian's strong point, is it? Within seconds, he'd whipped the whole pub into a frenzy, and you could feel the panic ripple through what should have been a happy wedding due for Patrick and Yolande. It's classic Beale behavior, never one to keep things calm when there's drama in the air. Then Peter came charging in and made matters 10 times worse, shouting about someone shooting on the square. Cheers for that, mate. Instead of calming people down, he and Ian locked the doors and basically turned the Vic into a fortress like something out of a siege film. The party atmosphere was gone in an instant, and you can imagine how rattled everyone must have been. What's interesting, though, is Nicola not seeming too fussed about her own lads, which is bound to raise eyebrows with viewers. It's those little reactions that get people talking, and this one could definitely come back to bite. 6. Nicola toasted the happy couple. Only in Walford could you have chaos kicking off outside, and Nicola Mitchell deciding the best solution is to pour another drink. She was well on the booze herself, but her little moment with Patrick and Yolande actually brought a bit of calm into the madness. Telling Patrick to live every day like it's your last was a bit on the nose, considering what had just happened, but somehow it worked. It was one of those rare times where Nicola's carefree attitude actually took the edge off, and for a second the wedding didn't feel completely ruined. What stood out, though, was Patrick's reaction. This is the same man who's been crippled by panic attacks just thinking about violence recently, yet here he was, shrugging it off like nothing had happened. It's a big shift in his state of mind, and fans are bound to be wondering what that means going forward. Is Patrick really coping better than we thought, or is he just bottling it all up, ready to explode later? Either way, with Jean hovering about waiting to drop Harvey in it whenever she gets the chance, the drama around this wedding is far from over. 7. Jean was petty in EastEnders this week. Jean never misses a chance to have a dig at Harvey, does she? Even with Zoe in hospital, she was sat with Stacy, rolling her eyes about men, claiming they always say one thing and mean another. And of course, she couldn't resist dropping Harvey's name into the mix while talking about Zoe's mystery texter. It's classic Jean. Even in the middle of a crisis, she finds a way to make it about her past heartbreaks. And you just know Stacy was half amused, half exasperated listening to her. But to be fair, Harvey probably dodged a bullet by walking away when he did. As much as Jean can be lovable, she's not exactly easy when she's on a mission, and right now, she seems more focused on pointing fingers than dealing with the bigger picture. It's one of those moments where viewers will be split. Some will laugh at Jean being Jean, others will think Harvey was wise to step back. Either way, it keeps that simmering tension between them bubbling, and you can bet this won't be the last time his name comes up.